What if I revealed something to you that completely reframes how you perceive SB19's entire journey? SB19 isn't attempting to conquer the current entertainment landscape. They're engineering themselves to outlast it entirely. While every other collective obsessively optimizes for streaming numbers, chases disappearing trends, and feeds algorithms that could become completely irrelevant within 2 years, SB19 is quietly constructing something that most idol groups never even get to glimpse from a distance: ownership, infrastructure, generational longevity. And here's the part that genuinely should shake you to your core. The exact decisions that critics mock them for, the calculated risks, the unconventional choices, the roads nobody else dared travel. Those are the precise reasons they'll remain standing tall when the entire industry collapses and rebuilds itself yet again. Today, we're completely dissecting SB19's actual long-term survival strategy, why it appears reckless from the outside, and why, from a pure business intelligence perspective, they represent one of the most structurally sound investments in Asian pop today. This isn't supporter enthusiasm talking. This is cold, hard industry logic operating at its highest level. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to SB19 Beatzone as we go deep. Chapter 1. Why choosing safety is actually the fastest path to career destruction. The entertainment industry celebrates obedience right up until the moment it discards you completely. Most idol careers trace an identical, painfully predictable trajectory. Emerge beneath an established corporate system, follow every instruction without deviation, ride whatever wave the label manufactures, peak rapidly, then dissolve into irrelevance just as quietly. And the devastating reality? It's never about insufficient talent. It's about never possessing ownership over the machinery driving your own career. Now pull back and examine the broader landscape across just the previous decade alone. Physical album sales collapsed, then partially clawed back. Streaming eliminated digital downloads. A short-form video platform rewrote every promotional rulebook overnight. Artificial intelligence now threatens both songwriting and visual creation simultaneously. Major corporations consolidated aggressively, then fractured apart unpredictably. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody in the industry wants performers to internalize. Any artist constructing their entire career upon the current system is fundamentally borrowing time against an uncertain future. This is precisely why globally dominant forces like BTS and Blackpink stopped pursuing trends entirely. They accumulated leverage instead. SB19 absorbed this reality before they ever possessed the luxury of learning it through failure. Chapter 2. SB19's first audacious wager: complete independence. When SB19 separated from their original management structure, the industry consensus was swift and harsh: reckless, suicidal, career-ending. No major corporate safety cushion, no guaranteed promotional infrastructure, no automatic institutional protection from industry hostility. Within conventional idol economics, this combination represents almost certain professional termination. But here's the critical dimension that virtually every observer completely failed to recognize. SB19 didn't simply depart, they methodically replaced everything they left behind with something superior. They constructed their own enterprise, developed their own management architecture, built their own decision-making pipeline from the foundation upward. That's not rebellion for rebellion's sake. That's vertical integration executed with extraordinary precision and foresight. Rather than functioning as compensated labor operating inside someone else's machinery, they became the undisputed owners of their own. Yes, it demanded greater personal risk, heavier daily responsibility, considerably slower operational processes, and dramatically elevated public scrutiny at every turn. But it also delivered intellectual property ownership, complete creative autonomy, long-term negotiating authority, and, most critically, survival capacity that extends far beyond any single trend cycle. This structural decision is the exact dividing line separating performers who enjoy brief moments from artists who construct enduring legacies. Chapter 3. Why SB19 deliberately refuses to pursue viral moments like everyone else. This dimension genuinely confuses casual observers who don't understand long-term strategic thinking. Why doesn't SB19 flood short-form platforms with disposable trend-bait content? Why do they refuse to engineer non-stop viral challenges? Why don't they aggressively optimize every release for algorithmic consumption? Because algorithmic dependency is structurally fragile at its foundation. Algorithms generously reward familiarity, rapid output, and endless repetition, but they actively punish artistic evolution, genuine depth, and narrative storytelling that requires patience to appreciate. SB19 deliberately selected the considerably more demanding path, catalog construction over moment chasing. They're developing music that delivers powerfully in live performance environments, that strengthens and deepens with each passing year, that communicates emotional truth across completely different cultural contexts, and that requires absolutely no single platform for its survival. This is precisely why their concert experiences continue scaling upward, why their albums appreciate rather than expire, and why their community deepens continuously rather than cycling through disposable phases. Viral moments generate temporary spikes. Genuine infrastructure generates permanent endurance. Chapter 4. The quiet strategic genius embedded within their fan economy. The overwhelming majority of idol supporter communities are built upon passive consumption. SB19's community is built entirely on active participation. That distinction carries more strategic weight than most industry analysts are willing to acknowledge publicly. SB19 didn't merely attract devoted followers, they cultivated and developed a community with the organizational capability to mobilize, advocate, promote strategically, and actively defend the brand narrative against any external threat. A10 doesn't simply stream content passively, they function as committed advocates operating with genuine conviction. This creates organic media defense infrastructure, sustains long-term loyalty bonds that commercial marketing cannot manufacture, dramatically reduces dependency on expensive promotional campaigns, and generates cultural permanence that outlasts any individual trend cycle. This community architecture is precisely why SB19 can absorb industry hostility, navigate platform bias, and survive extended periods of mainstream silence. They're not floating precariously on exposure, they're anchored permanently to authentic human community. Chapters 5 and 6. Refusing limitations and commanding creative authority. SB19 never permitted themselves to be confined within a restrictive regional genre label. They perform across multiple languages without hesitation, fuse completely different genres without apology, command international stages without diluting their cultural identity, and compete globally without surrendering what makes them irreplaceable. This carries genuine strategic risk. Local audiences sometimes resist, international comparisons become considerably harsher, and performance standards rise exponentially. But this future-proofs them against a landscape where genre boundaries collapse, national borders blur, and only authentic identity paired with exceptional execution survives the transitions. SB19 isn't marketing their nationality as their primary selling proposition. They're marketing excellence that carries genuine cultural roots. That combination is export-proof regardless of what the industry landscape looks like in 5 or 10 years. And their creative authority amplifies this advantage dramatically. Creative control was never about personal ego satisfaction. It's about response velocity in a rapidly shifting landscape. When industry conditions transform suddenly, major labels hesitate, internal committees delay, trend windows close permanently. SB19 can pivot conceptual direction, reconstruct their sonic identity, and respond to audience feedback in genuine real time. That agility is extraordinarily rare throughout the Asian entertainment landscape. Most performers wait indefinitely for corporate permission. SB19 constructs momentum continuously, and momentum compounds with every passing cycle. Final chapters: the mathematics of longevity and why they survive what's coming. Performers possessing ownership rights, touring authority, merchandise control, and licensing freedoms survive industry downturns dramatically better than streaming-dependent acts, platform-reliant creators, or algorithmically optimized idols who built everything on borrowed infrastructure. SB19 generates returns across live performance environments, physical products lines, digital distribution channels, brand collaboration agreements, and intellectual property licensing. That diversification isn't visually spectacular, but it's structurally recession-resistant in ways that pure streaming revenue absolutely is not. Here's one final counterintuitive truth worth absorbing completely. Performers possessing ownership rights, touring authority, merchandise control, and licensing freedom survive industry downturns dramatically better than streaming-dependent acts, platform-reliant creators, or algorithmically optimized idols who built everything on borrowed infrastructure. SB19 generates returns across live performance environments, physical product lines, digital distribution channels, brand collaboration agreements, and intellectual property licensing. That diversification isn't visually spectacular, but it's structurally recession-resistant in ways that pure streaming revenue absolutely is not. Here's one final counterintuitive truth worth absorbing completely. Performers